Find a comfortable seat on your blanket or on your blocks, and let's just take a few moments to get settled. So make sure that your shoulders are relaxing, that you're lifting up through your abdomen, and the crown of the head is reaching up toward the ceiling. And then let the eyes close. So feeling yourself settling into your body and into the present moment, and taking some deeper breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Just checking in with yourself. This may be the first time that you've had a few minutes today to sit down and be quiet. Just scanning through the body, the joints, the back, making sure that nothing is bothering you too much today. And if it is, just being careful to be mindful of those parts of your body. Good. And then go ahead and let the eyes open, and we'll come down onto our backs and do some movement. So feel free to use your blanket if you need to use that under your head. And lay down on the back. Go ahead and bend your knees to start out with. And let's bring the right knee into the chest. Go ahead and draw the thigh to the abdomen and extend the left leg straight. Make sure that the back of your pelvis feels like it's settled and centered. And then relax the right leg to the floor, and let's take the left knee into the chest. Just observing the differences between the two sides of the hips. This time, as you let your leg go down, let the arms go over the head and stretch yourself long. Let's start to move with the breath now, alternating legs to chest. So inhale here, and on the exhalation, right knee comes in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, the left knee in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left side. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hold here, and let's turn this into our floor warm-ups. So exhale the right knee into the chest. We'll go slow at first. Let the left arm come out to the side. Bring your right knee over. Try to keep the left hip grounded into the mat. Hold here for a breath or two. And then bring the knee to the left. Left hand holds on. Right arm reaches out, and bring your hip up off the floor and twist. Roll your pelvis into the middle, hold behind your foot, or rather your thigh. Lift your foot up toward the ceiling. And then fold that knee back into the chest and give a little squeeze there to open up the back of the hip. On your next inhalation, the leg can go down, the arms can go over the head. Let's slowly go through that on the left leg. So take a breath in. Exhale the left knee to the chest. Right arm out to the side. Inhale, left knee open. Exhale, come all the way across to the right with the left arm out to the side. Then come to the center, hold behind your thigh. Foot goes up toward the ceiling. exhale, knee to the chest. And then inhale the leg down and the arms over the head. Let's speed that up a little bit now. So inhale and exhale, right knee in. Inhale, right knee open. Exhale, knee across to the left. Inhale, center, lift the foot up toward the ceiling. And exhale, knee comes into the chest. Inhale, the leg down and the arms raised. Exhale, the left knee into the chest. Inhale, left knee open. Exhale, knee across to the right. Inhale, center, extend the leg. Exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale the leg down and the arms over the head. One more time. Exhale the right knee into the chest. Inhale, right knee open. And exhale, cross the knee to the left. Inhale to the center, extend the foot up toward the ceiling. And exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale, leg to the floor, arms above the head. And exhale, left knee to the chest. Inhale, knee to the left. Exhale, knee to the right. Inhale, center, extend the leg up, push through your heel. Exhale, knee to the chest. Inhale, leg down, arms over the head, lengthen yourself out, and then go ahead and relax those arms back to the sides, and take one knee and bend it, the other knee and bend it. And let's just pause here for a moment. Make sure your back and your pelvis feel like they're in a good position. Bring your arms up in front of the body and cross one arm in front of the other, and just give yourself a hug across the chest. Try not to squeeze tightly, but instead broaden the shoulders out towards the hands. Relax the back of the neck. Good, and then bring your arms back up, switch the arm that's in front, and again give a hug. Stretching between those shoulder blades. And then release the arms toward the ceiling and bring them back down to the sides. Before we get up, let's do our thread the needle series. So bring your right knee into the chest. Take the outside of the right ankle in front of the left knee. This big bone that's here on the outside of the ankle should go to the outside of that knee. Flex the foot, and let's roll the knee open. Try to keep your pelvis centered and still. Try not to wiggle too much in your hips, but roll this leg out. You feel it in here, maybe on the inner, and then let the knee roll in toward the center line. And if you want to, this hand can assist. You can give a little pull in that direction. You can do this with your breath. Inhaling, open with that right knee, flex the foot. Exhale, draw the knee across slightly. You're keeping this buttock on the mat. Inhale, open. And exhale, bring it back to the middle. Good, last time. Roll it open, stay here. Take the right hand to the upper thigh and give a little push. So just a light push to traction your lower back. Try to keep your upper body relaxed. Breathing deeply. Releasing the hand from the thigh, engage through the stomach, pull belly to spine, lift the left foot up, which brings your right shin toward you. Now we've got a few ways to hold on here. You can hang on to the knee and the foot and just hold and brace that position. If you can actually get your hands to go to the outside of the left leg, that's also an option. Make sure your head and your hips are still on the floor. You're still flexing your ankle, and you're keeping a nice long front spine. So pressing slightly into your right thigh with your right elbow or forearm if you need a little bit more. If you need less, take your foot back to the mat and just roll out. So there's lots of choices. So finding that perfect position for you today. Couple more breaths. Good. The last little bit, if you want to take that left foot and extend the heel up to a partially bent knee or to a fully straightened knee. Make sure your pelvis is still grounded. And then release the knee, release the foot. Pull this knee back into a neutral position, hug it in tightly to the chest, and then let that leg go all the way straight to open up the front of the hip, and you can even shake that leg out before rebending it and putting it back to the floor. All right, just pause in the center for a breath or two. And then bring this left knee into the chest. You're going to turn the knee out. This bony part of the ankle goes to the outside of the right thigh. We flex this foot, and then using the leg, or you can help with the hand, just don't push on your knee itself. Let the leg roll open, and then let the leg roll toward the midline. The opposite hand can give a little tug if that's helpful. So opening, left knee out to the side, and then drawing the left knee toward the midline. Open it out to the side, drawing it toward the midline. Good. Open it out to the side one last time. Bring it into the midline, and then roll it out and stay in that rolled out position. Left hand on the inner thigh, give a little push. Feel that space that gets created at the top of the hip socket, the length that's created along the left side of the lower back. And then release the hands out of the way, belly to spine, pick up the right foot. Again, hold here if you need to have a little bit less, or keep your foot on the floor. Or if you need more, dive the hands to the behind the right leg and hold. You can always push out into your left thigh with your left forearm if necessary. Hips grounded, head grounded. Spine long. And then if you'd like to add lifting the right foot up toward the ceiling, a little hamstring and calf on that side. And then bend that knee, release the leg, bring the foot down, bring the left knee into the chest, give it a tug, extend the left leg down to the floor, and shake that thigh out before rebending the knee so you're back to constructive rest, both knees bent, both feet on the floor. From this position, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a side to side before we get up. So widen your feet out to the edges of the sticky mat. Let the arms come a little bit further away from your body. Let the legs drift over to the left side, right knee falling in, but don't force it to the floor. And just feel this whole length of the body stretch. If you want to let the right arm go over the head, that might actually feel even better. So lengthen down that side body. Trying to get into all areas of the hip. Good. And then to come out, pull the belly in as you exhale. Bring your arm down. Bring your knees to the middle. Then let the inhale bring your knees over to the right. Left arm can go over the head. Don't force the knees to the floor. Just let them hover. Couple of deep breaths. Now feeling the stretch all along this left side of the body, from the hand all the way down to the knee. Taking an inhalation, and on the exhalation, pulling yourself with your belly back to the center, letting the arm come down. Good. Okay, now make sure you're straight on your mat, and then let both of the knees come into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, and you can rock from side to side, massaging that area against the floor. shoulders and back of hips. And then let's go ahead and roll ourselves completely over to the side and use the hand to push yourself off of the ground. And then gather up some props. So we'll take our blocks and our blanket. So the blanket can be moved and opened up to the standard fold, or you use your cushion and bring it onto the center of your sticky mat. Blocks can be up on the high heights or on the second heights for just a short lunge series. So coming into your lunge, hands up on top of the blocks here or here. Take your right foot forward, big step forward, and go ahead and just find your balance. So the back foot, you can point it for now, and then let yourself come forward. You can lean your belly against your right thigh. And open up, trying to open up back in this hip and groin. So a couple of breaths here. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed, your head lifted. Good, and then press into the front foot, pull the belly back, and come up a little taller in your lunge. You can then try to balance on the front knee, hands up there, lifting up through the abdomen, relaxing through your tailbone, and either keeping the hands low, they can be on the hips, you can bring them up to your heart, or you can try to bring them over the head. Now remember, we don't go backwards when we go over the head. You want to go straight up toward the ceiling, shoulders down the back. You can put a little more weight in the back foot though, the back front of the foot, or rather the top of the foot. Good, and then bring the hands down to your blocks. Be careful as you move into that transition, belly is engaged. We're going to go ahead and switch feet. So right foot back, left foot forward. Don't get too narrow in your stance, and then lean forward into it. Make sure your knee doesn't go past your ankle. So just noticing how this side's feeling. As we lean forward, there tends to be more sensation in the front groin. And then as we bring our torsos upright, the sensation moves into the other leg, the back leg. So belly in, tail long, can be on the knee, using my top of my foot back there to push down, hands to the hips perhaps, or hands at the heart, or arms above the head. Make yourself tall if the arms are going above the head. Good, couple of breaths, trying to balance. And hands down, belly in, hands down, find your blocks. Okay, let's do one more on each side, a little bit different. Right foot forward again. Be slightly shorter in your lunge. We're going to do some different options here. So again, be upright, knee, heart, or over the head. I'm going to give you two choices for what to do next. You can either bring your hands down, take your back toe under, and either straighten the back leg only. So try that first to see how it feels. Front knee still bent, weight in that front foot, back leg straight. Then bring that knee down again. Be careful as you come down. Come up again. One more time. Lift up through the belly. Find your chosen arm position. Good. Stay connected to the floor to help you with your balance. Bringing the hands down one last time on this side. Bring your blocks back just a little bit closer to your back leg. Take the back toe under and see if you can try to straighten both legs a little bit. So we're going to push off the back knee and maybe straightening into the front leg just a little bit. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Feel that back calf. Good, and then bend both knees, come all the way back down. Nice job. And then we're going to switch sides. So right leg goes back. Left leg goes forward. Don't get too narrow. Good. Keep the torso upright. Belly up, tail long. Find your thigh, or hands to heart, or arms raised. hands down. And first option, blocks are still a little forward, the right under your armpits, back toe under, and take the back knee off the floor and straighten the back leg, but keep the front knee bent. You can look down there at your foot. See if you can feel that the back of the spine is in the same line as the back leg. And then release that knee to the mat. Let's do one more lifted lunge. So bring your weight back on the back foot a little bit more, and you can find that arm position one last time. And this time we're going to try to straighten both legs. So hands ground first, bring the hands back just a touch. Back leg lifts, front leg straightens, and see if you can again let your spine be mostly parallel to the ground. Good. All right, bend both knees, lightly land. Come back to all fours, or at least on both knees. And then let's just take the blocks out of our way so we can move them to the side and stretch out the shoulders a little bit more. So bring your hands down on the floor, walk your hands forward, walk your knees backward, and extend. You can keep toes turned or you can point either way and extend through those shoulders. So ears are going to go right above or right between the upper arms. Don't let your head come to the ground, but lengthen yourself back and remember those shoulder rotations. Shoulders are down the back, shoulders are wide, forearms and elbows slightly hugging in towards the head, and don't shrug the shoulders. Couple of deep breaths. That's it. And then walk the hands back toward your body and come into sort of a little crouch. So almost like a little froggy type position. We're here. If you find it difficult to do a deep child's pose, you can even be higher. You can be more like this. Don't hurt your knees. Then see if you can lift yourself all the way up. Lift the tummy, drop the tailbone, and either bring the hands to the heart, and I'm going to lean my weight back a little bit onto the tops of my feet. Or again, the arms could go over the head. So take a breath in and get long through the front of your body. And then exhale, sit your hips back just a touch, bring your hands down, touch the floor, and either kind of crouch in that little froggy position, or you can bring your head a little bit closer to the floor. So we'll build this. Inhale, upper body lifts, pelvis lifts, arms lift. Here or here. Exhale, sit back as much as you can comfortably. You can always put your cushion back in here too, kind of between your thigh and your calf. Hands come down. Carefully lower yourself forward. Forehead close to the floor or just hover. Now if you can do a full child's pose, let me show you what's next. So inhale, upper body, then pelvis, then arms. If you're doing a full child's pose, you can sit first, dive the hands back beside your feet, and then fold forward. Your head does not have to come to the mat. In fact, if you want to put a block there, you can put a block there and just go to the block. Then inhale, upper body, then hips, then arms. Stretch the front body, good. Exhale, sit. Hands either by the feet or here at the front, and lower to the block. Let's do one more. Inhale, upper body, hips, arms, lift the belly, don't arch the back here. Exhale, sit, hands, and fold forward. Good, stay in a child's pose. So pick a way that you can be in child's pose comfortably. That might mean your knees are a little bit wider than your feet. That might mean you have this block under your forehead, or that you're resting your arms in front of you. And just relax. Imagine that your tailbone had a little weight hanging off the edge, and you're allowing that lower back to kind of round just a tiny bit. Couple breaths. Good. And then let's go ahead and bring the hands in front of those knees. Lift up with the upper body. And we're going to come from here into a careful standing position. So be careful as you stand up. I'm going to go ahead and move my blocks out of the way for now. I'm going to stand up and take the blanket out of the way as well. Okay. So stand up on your mat, facing the front, and just find mountain position to start out with. So feel as though your feet are slightly hips distance, about hips distance apart and slightly turned toes in. All right, the feet are hips distance apart, toes slightly narrower than the heels. Finding your balance, you can lift your toes up off of the floor, which will shift your weight back a little bit. Spread the toes and lay them back down. Let's bring the arms forward of the body and over the head. And again, if the arms don't like this position, you can always do a little less. You can bring your hands onto your head if you prefer. Let's take the right arm down beside us, and we're going to lean over to the right. Try not to lose the left leg. Keep the left leg grounded. And then inhale, reach to the ceiling. Go ahead and bring the other arm up, and then to the other side, and turn into that side bend. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, both arms over the head. Exhale, one arm down. Good. Inhale, other side up. And the first side down. Exhale. Make sure the foot that you are leaning away from stays really heavy on the mat. And then inhale, both arms up. Take your arms out to the sides. This time, I'm going to turn around to show you. Bring your hands as if you were going to put your hands in your back pockets and stand up tall. Draw the shoulders down the back as if you're trying to drag your hands down the hips. Lift the chest. So lift the belly. Don't push your pelvis forward. Keep the thighs pushing back. It's like you're resisting with your legs that movement of the pelvis forward. This is a standing back bend. If this hurts your wrists, the other option is to bring hands to heart and just slightly lift up through the chest. Good. Then lift the hands over the head, dive out to the side onto the fronts of your legs, and we're going to walk forward. So a couple choices. You can come to here, which is like a modified chair. Try not to arch your back. You can come to elbows to the knees if that's better. Remember, if you have any osteoporosis or anything going on, don't drop your head. Keep your head neutral with the back of the shoulders. If you want to go down further, you can reach down for your ankles. Lift the sit bones up toward the ceiling, stretching through the backs of your legs, supporting yourself as much as you need to. And being honest with yourself about how much support you need. Now remember, coming up, we're not going to roll. We're just going to walk up the legs, so hands to thighs. Bend those knees a little bit more deeply. Use your belly and go ahead and bring your whole spine up together as you straighten up. And you can always reach up for the ceiling just to kind of finish that movement, lengthening. Good. And then let the hands come back down at the heart. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit with balance. And actually, we might use a block in a second, but for now, just stand again how you were. And go ahead and find that nice mountain again with the toes lifted. Then spread the balls of the feet. Make sure the ball of your big toe stays connected to the floor. Relax your toes. Lean forward and try to lift up onto the balls of the feet. And then release the heels and come back into mountain pose. So we call this the palm tree position, or talasana. So we're going to lean forward. Lift the heels, don't let the feet roll to the outer edge, and then release the heels and come back to center. We're just going to do 4 more with some different arm positions. So first, we're going to take the arms forward, Lift up. Try to balance, good. And then down, and if you need to take a little step, that's okay. I'm on carpet here, it's not as good as being on the hard floor. Then out to the side, lift up. Good, and then down. Now try to take the arms all the way over the head, so inhale, lift up, and come all the way up. And then down. And then out to the side and all the way up. So lean forward, go all the way out to the side and over the head and stretch up. Belly in, tail long. And then release. Good. Once you get there, roll those shoulders backwards. If you need to move the ankles a little bit, you can either pick it up and rotate it or keep the foot on the floor and rotate the ankle. All right, next thing is the stork position. So this is that marching in place really slowly. We're going to again lift the belly, drop the tailbone. Try not to push your pelvis forward though, so you're keeping those thighs kind of activated backwards. Go ahead and bring your hands up onto your hips and lean to one side and pick up the opposite knee. So this is the more important, since we're on one foot, that we keep the standing foot grounded, big toe on the floor, big toe ball. And then back to center and lean to the other side. And go ahead and lift up. So your belly is helping you lift up your leg. And then we come to the center, find the balance in the middle, and then shift. And lift up. And land. And shift. Lift up. Land. And shift. Arms can be added, same as before. You can come over the head, to the head, to the heart. And even if you move your arms around in the position, it actually makes it a little more challenging, so you can even try doing that. Good. Try out, a little different. Maybe moving all the way over the head. Releasing. One more time. Try out. Try going all the way up. Notice if you have one side that feels easier to balance. Good. When you land there, go ahead and separate your feet a little bit wider. Just kind of lean side to side. We're going to do a few of these leans. Bend one knee slightly, bend the other knee slightly. Smooth the hips around. Good. Then come to the center and let the hips themselves move to the side and the shoulders and head go to the other side. Good. And then let's do our hip circles all the way around. One direction a few times. And the other direction. Good. All right. Take your feet a little wider. You might need to turn on your mat so that you're in the same orientation that I am, standing facing the long side of the mat. Hopefully facing the video. And then let the right foot go ahead and turn out. So you're going to pivot on the heel, turn the right foot all the way out to 90 degrees. Take your left heel and pivot it back. Now, if it's difficult for you to stand like this, feel free to use the chair, the wall, or the bar. Pelvis is going to slightly turn with the front leg. And you can kind of test out your knee. If you bend your knee a little bit, it should be bending straight toward the second toe of your foot. Then go ahead and try to stand up. And you can even lift the arms up to the head or all the way up over the head. Legs are straight. Put some weight in that back leg. Then open the arms out directly over your feet. So my pelvis is still turning to the right, but my shoulders are now turning a little bit more toward the long side of the mat. And then looking out over the right hand, bend that front knee. So we're going to bend and we're going to release. At any time you can drop your arms if you need to. So we can even create a pattern. Lift, bend, straighten, and arms down. Let's add the breath this time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's just try one more. Inhale, exhale. Let's add in that reverse arm position. Front arm up, back hand to the leg. Good. And then back to center. Inhale, straighten, and exhale down. Very nice. And then go ahead and turn the foot to face the front. Go ahead and pivot the left foot out. Take your heel back. Go ahead and let the pelvis turn slightly toward the left foot. And just test that front knee. Make sure that if you were to bend it, it's not going to bend toward the big toe. And then let's try that pose. So arms can come out to the sides. And we can bend into Warrior Two. Don't let all the weight go into the front leg. Straighten the knee. Relax the arms down. Good, let's try that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knee. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, arms down. Let's add the reverse. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, back arm down, front arm up. Exhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, release. Very good. And then turn your feet back to the center. Okay, from this position, we're going to go ahead and walk the feet back in. So careful with that, little steps until you come back to mountain. And then before we do anything else, just again, stand with your feet slightly wider than hips distance apart. Go ahead and let those knees bend a little bit. And let's let the arms rotate around the body to release the lower back. So just slow, as if you were swinging empty sleeves around your torso. Make sure the movement is originating from your pelvis, not from your shoulders. Your hands can kind of tap your hips as they come around. Good. Start slowing yourself down easily and gently. Good. And then let yourself kind of sway. You'll eventually feel like coming to a complete stop. And then let your feet come back into the center. Okay, one more forward bend before we come back down to the floor and do some other things. So let's take an inhale, get tall through the spine. Exhale, fold the knees just a little bit. Come down again. You're going to walk down the fronts of your legs, stopping wherever you need to. So here, or down to the ankles, and lift the hips slightly. Lift the belly. Feel that deep stretch in your lower back and in the backs of your legs. Good. Couple of more breaths. Now, instead of us coming back up to standing, we're actually just going to go all the way down to the ground. So you can bring your hands down, bend your knees enough so that you can get one foot back and take the other knee to the floor. And then go ahead and come back to both knees. And then let's come back down and lie on the back again for a few more things here. So once you get down to the mat again, just kind of feel, how does your lower back feel? How does the back of your sacrum, back of the pelvis feel? So a couple things that we're going to do to release that part of the body now is first bridge. So you've got a block somewhere close to you, and we'll go on this first surface of the block. You're going to lift up with the hips, take the block under the sacrum. So it should be somewhere between your waistband and your tailbone, kind of right in the middle of your pelvis, and it's going perpendicular to your mat. And then step the feet back to the floor. So watch that your knees are not starting to fall open. You want to keep your feet a little bit pigeon-toed and the knees a little bit close together. We're going to do some more releasing for this part of the body and sort of almost like a reclining Warrior One. So the first thing that I'd like for you to try is to draw the right knee into the chest. And just be careful, you don't have to hug it. So you notice if I hug my knee, it really makes me round my pelvis. So I'm just going to let my knee kind of hover. And I might just grab a hold of my pants or just barely hold on. I'm going to start to inch my left leg out straight. Now a couple of options with this. If this is hard for your body to do, you can do what I'm doing. I'm bending my knee, the ball of my foot is still close to the floor. So that would be choice number one. You don't even have to hold on to the knee. Choice 2 would be to straighten this leg and let it drop either right above the mat, I am engaging my stomach muscles, or to the mat. This is a deeper hip stretch. Option 3 would then be to actually pull the knee in a little bit. So you've got to be careful with how hard you're doing either one of these positions, because you don't want to make it feel uncomfortable. They should feel like a good stretch on the lower back and on the front of the left leg. So just hold here for a few rounds of breath. If it becomes too much, you can always bend this knee again. It's always an option. Good. And then to release, we are going to bend that knee. So bring the left foot into the floor. Go ahead and pull your belly in. To switch sides, release the right foot to the mat, so you're back in bridge pose. Take a few rounds of breath in bridge pose, just feeling that neutral position of the lower back. All right, and then let's get ready for the other side. So the left knee, I'm just going to pick up my foot. My belly is going to help me do that. And then I'm going to inch my left leg forward. Not all the way straight at first, to see how it feels. If you feel like you do want to straighten it, you can either lift it and hover it above the mat, engaging here, or dropping the foot to the floor. Last option would be to give the knee a gentle hug and pull the belly in. So you take this to whatever degree is feeling safe and comfortable. Remember, you can always back out whenever you need to. All right, 2 more breaths. And then slide the right heel in. Bring the right knee into the chest as well. Make sure that that block is in a good position. Pull the belly in. Take one foot up in the air. It can bend if you needed to. Take the other foot up in the air and let the legs create weight into the sacrum. So you feel like you're not doing this, pulling your feet up to the head, and you're not letting them go in the other direction either. They're right above the body, kind of heels above the hips, and bend those knees as much as you like. And then you can just let your arms relax to the mat. Keep your belly toned. And just hold here. This is your inversion. So a little bit of a baby shoulder stand. You're not putting pressure on the neck or shoulders, just a very mild amount of pressure on the upper back. And just holding here for a few more rounds of breath. Good, and then go ahead and do one leg at a time. Just bend your knees, one, and then the other. And then engage your belly again. Drop one foot to the floor. The knee is going to stay bent. Drop the other foot to the floor with the knee bent. And just be in bridge pose now for a little while. So you can try not to push up with your stomach. Let it relax back toward the front of your spine. And again, your little pigeon-toed feet is nice for your low back. And we let the arms rest out, palms up, and breathe. Good. Take a couple more breaths. And then step your feet just a little closer in towards your block. Lift up through the hips. Let's take the block out and land back on the pelvis. And just be in constructive rest. Just let yourself rest there for a moment before you do anything else. If you want to rock the knees again side to side, that's a good choice. You can kind of do a breath pattern. Inhale to the side. Exhale, pull the legs to the center. Use your belly to do that. And then go ahead from there and let one knee come into the chest, let the other knee come into the chest, and you can make a circle with the knees. Let the knees stay together and roll the edge of that sacred bone on the back of your hips against the mat. And then reverse your circle. Good. Okay, let's grab that block one more time. We're going to do a little twist. So bring the block over onto the right side. Go ahead and put your feet back down for just a second. We're going to take our pelvis and shift it away from the block. So scoot it over to the left. Bring your knees into your chest. Let the right shin go down onto the block, and it can be on whatever height you need. And then the left knee can come down. Now, if your shoulder is popped up, your left shoulder, you're also going to want to put something between your knees. So your other block or your blanket or something there, so that this shoulder can reach back and you can open up this left side of the chest. And the right hand can touch here, or you can just lay it on the ground. Optionally, the left ear might want to drop over there toward the floor a little bit, as long as it doesn't hurt the neck. And we hold this twist for a few rounds of breath. Notice how this whole left side of the abdomen is feeling really open for you to take deep breaths into. Good, and then release the hand off of the knee. You're going to grab whatever is between your knees to get it out of the way. Then lift up the top leg, then the bottom leg, head to the middle, feet down. Remember, you shifted one side, so just shift into the center for now. And then go ahead and take your other block down to the floor, to the left. You're going to move your pelvis away from that block. Knees are going to come into the chest. Left leg to the first block. Maybe putting something between if they need it. If the shoulder is popping up like this and your knees are together, then go ahead and put something between. Reach the right arm back, left hand on the top of the knees, and relax into that twist. And you'll start to feel that this side of your abdomen feels really open, the right side of the abdomen. And the right side of the chest. Three more breaths. You can always turn that right ear down toward the mat if it feels good. All right, let go with the hands. If you've got a prop between your knees, grab it. Lift the front knee, back knee, come to the middle. Move your pelvis into the center. And do anything else that you feel like you need to do to kind of straighten yourself out on the floor. And then if you need a little bit of support, the blanket ended up way over there, but you can always put your blanket under those knees if you need to for Shavasana. So under the knees, if that feels right, or under the head, go ahead and lay down in Shavasana, relaxation position. Hands beside you, palm up or hands on the belly. Make sure your shoulder blades feel like they're tucked under your back. Closing those eyes and letting yourself rest. So as you're resting, close those eyes and go ahead and start to breathe. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Okay, so once you come back to the center, you can grab your blanket if you need it and bring it down underneath the backs of your knees for some support. Let your legs straighten out. And roll your shoulder blades under your back, palms up or hands on the abdomen, and close your eyes. So tapping into the sensation of the body, deeply releasing into the ground. Let all of those big muscles go. Let your buttocks release, let your shoulder blades release, let your head be heavy. Taking some deeper breaths through the nose, in and out. Keeping your throat relaxed. So taking a deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. Another deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. And then start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Let one knee bend, let the other knee bend, and roll yourself to your side. Use your arms to push yourself off of the floor and come back up and sit for just a moment. And then bring your hands up to your heart. And we can chant Om 3 times together. So taking a nice deep inhalation. Namaste. taking a deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. Another deep breath in and a relaxed breath out. And then start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Let one knee bend, let the other knee bend, and roll yourself to your side. Use your arms to push yourself off of the floor and come back up and sit for just a moment. And then bring your hands up to your heart. And we can chant Om 3 times together. So taking a nice deep inhalation. Namaste.
What are you doing, Tyler? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, see mommy.
Tyler says namaste too.
You're really good bullying.